The horses of Shiloh were renowned in all the world. They were known for their strength and speed. In every competition, it was the horses of Shiloh which won the test. The people of Shiloh let their horses run free when they were not used for labor. Some time ago, a great horse was born in the wilds of Shiloh. This horse grew to be taller, stronger, and faster than any horse before. He would run at the head of any herd. Horses leading other herds would challenge him. As a result, he fought many times. By the time the people of Shiloh brought him into their city, he was scarred from many battles. They named him Axis, in part for his warlike appearance. He was hard for any man to ride, and many feared to approach him. Only the most brave attempted it. Only a few were able to ride him. He would rear before every race, pushing against the effort to rein him in. Some thought him never truly tamed. Many believed it was the fear of him that won his races because the other horses would cower at his presence, unable to run well against his fearsome form. When Axis competed as Shiloh's champion, he won every test. He could run faster, jump higher, and pull more than any in the field against him. He did so throughout his life. Axis had been dead for many years when the princes of Shiloh decided to build a monument to him. They decided there had never been such a horse before or since, and there never would be such a horse again. They had the foremost sculptor brought before them and said, "You are to build a monument to Axis. Spare no effort and take such time as may be needed. When it is done, we will pay you for your efforts." The sculptor went his way and inquired of those who lived in Shiloh if any still living had seen Axis. Only one elderly man was left who came to the sculptor and told him he had seen Axis when he was a small boy. He was large, larger than any other horse in our herds. He was scarred from many fights. His body bore marks you would expect from a battle horse. His body was strong and its strength showed through. The sculptor worked using the information he obtained from this aged witness. Before the work could be completed, however, the old man died. There remained no eyewitnesses alive who had seen Axis. When the work was done, the sculptor summoned the princes to see the monument before it was to be shown to the people. The princes came and were unhappy with what they saw. "This horse is disproportionate," said the one. "It is too large," said another. "It is disfigured and scarred," complained a third. "There is no beauty in this thing, and no one will desire to look upon it," said the first. "Surely people will turn their faces away from this. It cannot stand. You must remake it, for Axis is known throughout the world, and if our monument is to add to his fame, it must reflect great beauty," said the third. The monument was discarded, and the sculptor inquired of the princes what he must do to please them. They consulted and provided a list. Axis must not be rearing, but must have all his feet upon the ground. A rearing horse is unruly. He must not bear scars or deformities of any kind. We expect him to be an object of great beauty. His size must be comparable to most horses, and not disproportionate in any feature. His appearance should be clear, unencumbered by the distortions of great strength. He should be such an animal as would appeal to the eye of a woman or child, with great gentleness in his eyes and a calmness to his demeanor. The sculptor looked about to find a horse which might model for this list. As he looked, he found a young mare and brought her to the princes. "I realize this is a mare, but she is a model of your list. I think she might answer to your description. I have brought her to you to see if I might use her proportions, appearance, and form as a likeness to use in sculpting Axis." The princes rejoiced in the appearance of the young mare. "She is everything we wanted in form and appearance. Make Axis after her form, but keep him a stallion," the princes said. The sculptor worked, and when his efforts were finished, he summoned the princes again. This time they said, "It is a thing of beauty. It is proportionate and without blemish. It is a fitting tribute to so great a horse as Axis. It is perfect." The day came when all the people of Shiloh were summoned to a great feast, when the sculptor was to unveil the new monument. All the people arrived to celebrate the greatest horse of Shiloh, but none of them had seen Axis. None of them knew his form, nor were acquainted with his features. Therefore, when the great monument was uncovered, the people shouted for joy and exclaimed among themselves, "What great beauty Axis had! How proportionate and smooth his features were! How gentle a horse he must have been! How appealing he must have been to all, even women and children, to ride!" "I thrill at this sight," exclaimed a prince. "I can feel by the burning in my breast that I am today witnessing the very image of Axis before me. I can assure all of you here today that if you were to behold the living Axis again, you would see nothing varying from the image before you." The people felt it too, and cheered at their great privilege. "We have seen our champion. We know Axis for ourselves. He must have been named Axis for his perfect form, equal in all dimensions." There were no witnesses who knew otherwise. There was no one who could correct the errors. Seeing this beautiful image of Axis, the people of Shiloh went about breeding and choosing their horses to mimic the image. Over time, the horses of Shiloh were renowned in all the world. They were known for their beauty and proportions. They only competed in shows of appearance and not in competitions of strength or speed. It was the horses of Shiloh that won all tests of form and feature. They were easily recognized for their uniform loveliness. The people of Shiloh could no longer let their horses run free, nor use them for labor. Such things might mar their appearance, but their horses were beautiful. In Shiloh, there was a neglected statue in a forgotten back alley of a rearing horse covered with scars, whose disproportionate and unruly form was thought to be a symbol of everything vile and unwanted in a horse.